Okay, now we go to the Sistine Disorders. So, Sistine Disorders characterized here by the sulfur odor of the urine. It's because here cysteine is one of the amino acid containing the sulfur group. So, we classify the cystine disorder as number one, cystinuria. Cystinuria is your metabolic disorder. Basically, it's an ability of your kidney to reabsorb your cysteine. And that disorder could be occurring here in either two pathways or two mechanisms. One, the patient may not enable here to reabsorb the cysteine along with the other amino acids na lysine, arginine, and ornithine. And another mechanism here is only cysteine plus the lysine could not be reabsorbed. Since hindi sila ma-reabsorb, what's going to happen here is that your cysteine plus or your other amino acid here, most likely the cysteine, we're going to overflow in the urine and therefore it try to be present in our urine. Although, like for example, in the mechanism number 1, apat sila ang hindi na marireabsorb. But comparing with that, with the other amino acid, ang cysteine ang pinaka-less soluble. Mas labing less soluble, hindi siya nadidissolve sa urine natin and therefore, nagpe-precipitate siya. Pag nag-precipitate siya, nakikita natin siya, they're able to form here a urine crystal na cysteine. Your hexagonal plate na okay? Able to form here cysteine crystal, your hexagonal plate, your six-sided na crystal. Again, siya lang ang mag-precipitate kasi siya ang pinaka-less soluble with your other na mga amino acids. And most likely, like for example, if your defect here is in number 1, so madami kang hindi ma-reabsorb, most likely you have higher chance of developing a renal calculi later on or kidney stones. Okay, another one na cystine disorder, we have here your cystinosis. We classify the cystinosis here as a true inborn error of metabolisms, classifying that one as either nephrogenic or non-nephrogenic. So the defect in the cystinosis here is the lysosomal release of the cysteine. Hindi siya na-release to the cytoplasm of your cell and therefore nag-accumulate lang siya doon. Once it accumulate, it could accumulate in the different organs of your body, including your cornea, your lymph nodes, your bone marrow, and even internal organs to try to cause your kidney damage in the form of renal failure. As for the mode of inheritance, that could be an infantile cystinosis, nephrogenic, or could also be a late onset nephrogenic na cystinosis. Pag infantile, that one is characterized by rapid progression to your renal failure, whereas your late onset would have only here basically a gradual, medyo mabagal siya mag-progress to the renal failure. Pero pag hindi ma-detect, again, mag-progress pa rin siya sa renal failure. And your non-nephrogenic on the other hand is less benign. Okay, less benign siya. So, benign siya, mean to say less severe. Okay, for the test here, for diagnosis of your cystine disorder, cystinuria could be diagnosed by your cyanide nitroprusside test. Okay, the test for your cystinuria, pareho sila, cystinuria, and your cystinosis would be your cyanide nitroprusside test that will give a red-purple na color or red-purple na color solution. Okay, another disorder related to your cystine disorders, homocysteine, also would have the sulfur odor. The problem with the homocysteine would be on the metabolism of your homocysteine plus your metabolism of your methionine. So, once it's not able to metabolize, this homocysteine try to accumulate, resulting here to failure to thrive na mamatay agad. Ang patient natin, mental retardation, we have also here cataract formation and we have death of the patient. The test for the homocysteine, still have your cyanide nitroprusside test, pareho ng cystinuria cystinosis natin. na red purple din. Only that ang pinaka-confirmatory test nito that would differentiate it from your homocystinuria. From your cystinuria and your cystinosis would be your silver nitroprusside test na siya lang ang magpapositive sa silver nitroprusside test natin. Okay, the next one, we have here the porphyria. So porphyria is just the problem yung heme synthesis. So what we've discussed in your HEMA, for the heme synthesis, diba? So we have several metabolic pathways on that. Like you start with the condensation of your glycine plus gluconeco-A that produce the ALA. Then ALA plus porphorinolidine, gagamit ng enzyme ALA dehydratase, then porphorinolidine converting that to hydroxymethylbilane. So gagamit ka ng mga enzyme hanggang sa makabuo tayo ng porphyrinolidine, where we try to combine or to add your iron with your ferrochelatase. That's the entire heme. So pag sinabi porphyria, it might be problem with any of those enzymes involved in your heme synthesis. So kung anong enzyme ang problem, that will eventually, kung ano ang previous na substrate na hindi na-convert, that will eventually here the one going to accumulate. Okay, we have here the defects of porphyria. Pwede siyang enzyme defects is inherited. Pwede siyang acquired. In the case of your lead poisoning, pag-acquired, this is exposure sa mga environmental factors. Acquired could be in the form of your lead poisoning, iron deficiency anemia. We have here chronic alcoholism, chronic liver disease, and we have kidney disease. So what accumulates or what increases in a porphyria would be your precursors. ALA, that stands for your delta, that's your aminolevulinic acid plus the porphobilinogen, that's the precursors. And the three porphyrins, uroporphyrinogen, copro, and we have protoporphyrinogens. Okay, in order for us then to detect the presence of those substances, itong mga ideal sample natin. So if you are detecting for the ALA, the precursors ALA, and the porphobilinogen, including the porphyrins, uroporphyrinogen, copro, then you could have your urine as your sample. Your protoporphyrin will never be seen in your urine. Your copro and proton, pinaka-ideal is your feces, but you could also use bile as your sample for that. Then to diagnose the lead poisoning, we could measure the free erythrocyte protoporphyrin as the level of that. And what we are using as sample for that will be your whole blood. Okay, we have here the test for your porphyria. So for the precursors, the ALA and porphobilinogen, so the specific test for that will be your Ehrlich's test. So Ehrlich's test will only give positive result for the PBG or the porphobilinogen. But your ALA could also give a positive result, but you need to add acetylacetone for that, para mag-positive siya. Then again, your Ehrlich's test only for the precursors and not for the porphyrins na uro, copro, and the proto. Ang porphyrins natin na uro, copro, and protoporphyrinogen will only give a positive results with your fluorescence spot test. The fluorescence spot test, you are adding ethyl acetate plus your glacial azelaic acid. And try to measure that one at 550 to 600 nanometer wavelength na fluorescent light. Ang positive natin fluorescent light would be any color, pink, red, or purple, but not the blue na color. Blue color is considered to be negative. In the case of the presence of the interfering substance, then you could have here you could add 0.1 ml. Okay, 0.1 ml of your hydrochloric acid. Ay, wait. Mali pa na. 0.5 ml of your hydrochloric acid. Then use the organic layer only. Then try to measure ulit with your fluorescent, with the spectrophotometry na fluorescent, the 550 to 600 nanometer. Ang magpa-positive na lang dyan after addition of your hydrochloric acid will be your porphyrin precursors but not your interfering substances. Okay, the next one, we have here your mucopolysaccharide disorders. Your mucopolysaccharide, other name for that would be your glycosaminoglycan. So, the structure of the glycosaminoglycan, meron siyang protein core at meron siyang mucopolysaccharides or the polysaccharide which try to branch out. So, example nitong mga mucopolysaccharides natin or For glycosaminoglycans, we have dermatan sulfate, keratan sulfate, and we have also here your heparan sulfate. Ang problem dito ay hindi siya nare-release ang ating mga mucopolysaccharide for metabolism. Pag hindi siya metabolize, anong nangyari? It will accumulate in our nervous tissues, mga connective tissues. Most likely, yung manifestation nito would be mental retardation kasi nag-accumulate sila sa mga nervous tissues natin. Okay, there are 3 disorders related for that. We have your Hunter, your Harler, and we have your San Filippo. Hunter and Harler would have here both skeletal muscle disorder and mental retardation. Only that your Harler would have the corneal manifestation, meron siyang eye defects. Your Hunter, on the other hand, is sex-linked siya. It's inherited disorder. San Filippo, on the other hand, is ang pinaka-defect niya lang ay mental retardation. Wala siyang skeletal muscle disorders. We have here the test for your presence of your mucopolysaccharides. Number 1, we have the turbidity test. The turbidity test is just addition of your agent, then observe for the turbidity. And then try to, quantitate as to the 0 to 4 na grading, and that depends on how much turbidity ang na-produce natin upon addition of your reagent. So example for that, we have your acid albumin test. You add your acid albumin, and we have your CTAB, your cetyl trimethyl ammonium bromide. So reading time, which is vary lang. Pag acid albumin, you read the result after 30 minutes, and after 5 minutes for your CTAB. Again, you just identify or grade mo lang ang kanilang turbidity as to the intensity of the white turbidity. Another test, we have your metachromatic spot test with the use of your mga acid dyes. So we are using the Wattman filter paper impregnated by 0.59% assure dye plus 2% hydrochloric acid na mag-react sa ating basic na mucopolysaccharide. The positive result with the presence of the blue spot na hindi siya na-wash out even upon addition of your acidified methanol solution.